You seem, you know, you're so in touch with American institutions like baseball and knowing Tony La Russa and understanding Mark McGuire, yet you're not American.
No, I'm Canadian.
You're Canadian. And
I live in Paris.
Went to school, lived in Paris, and went to school at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art?
No, LAMDA, the London Academy of Music and
Academy,
Dramatic Art. I wish I had gone to the RADA, but I...
You think it would have made a difference?
Well, the LAMDA took away my voice. I couldn't speak for 6 months because of my relationship with Iris Warren. It was a tricky one. She didn't think that my voice was suitable for English theater, that it was too low.
What was wrong with it?
It was too low. I could pick up anything and read it, and it lived. And now it's hard for me, and has been for 50 years nearly, whatever it is now, 45 years. And RADA would not have done that to me. Better was Bristol or better was Manchester. Yeah. But I went to LAMDA because that was the one that they came in Canada. I was an actor who had a lot of, they call it, what do you call it, talent, you know. This was what Prefontaine was saying, the talent didn't exist, that the only thing that existed was will.
Heart,
yeah. Right. And that I needed technique, so I went to one of those schools to get technique, and the technique really screwed me up, and I quit the school after a year, and Iris Warren said I should drive a truck. That's not fair, because Iris Warren is dead. And, oh dear, it was a battle.
And so what how did it affect you?
Well, it gave me problems with my voice that I've had for 40 years, but, it gave me problems with breathing, probably more so than my voice. But I went to work immediately. I went to work with David Stewart's theater in Perth, the Perth Repertory Theater, for 2 weekly rep for a year. It was grand.
When you told your parents you wanted to be an actor, they were very supportive.
Yeah, I was in Nova Scotia. Yeah. We lived in a town of 5,000 people. Nobody knew what an actor did. I mean, that was, I don't know where. I knew that when I was 11, I wanted to become an actor, so I just said that was what I wanted to do, and I looked around for a university, because I knew Canadian kids, you know, you go to a university when you graduate from high school, and this was 1953, and 52, 53, and I found the University of Toronto that had the Hart House Theatre, and my father said, you know, I'll let you have a year in England if you'll get graduated with a degree in engineering. I didn't. I failed in my third year. And I went off and took a course, graduated from Victoria College with English literature, and he gave me the year anyway, and I went.
When you see somebody like Billy Crudup, who everybody is heralding as looking at a great career, lots of praise for him, on stage and as a film actor, what kind of advice do you want to give him? What do you want to tell him?
Billy, I mean, the only advice you can ever give to any actor, and the only advice is to be truthful. That's the only thing you can ever, there's no other advice, just be truthful. And you don't need to give that advice to Billy, because he is consummately truthful, aesthetically truthful, rigorously truthful. Well, he's terrific. He's that go. I don't know whether he'll make movies, because it's not very satisfying for him. You know, there's that thing about Denis Diderot. You know, the thing about he wished that actors didn't have a brain, because it was so frustrating for a playwright for actors to have control over the product. It just killed them. I'm reading Dario Fo's little book, a wonderful book. I could give that book to Billy Crudup. It's a wonderful book on. It's called The Tricks of the Trade, from the Italian. A terrific book about actors from the Commedia dell'arte on. But it's frustrating for him to be in the cinema, because in cinema it took me a long time to understand it. It was finally Nick Rogue, I guess, in the early 70s, who explained it to me. But I mean, didn't explain, made me understand it. An actor, the only decision you have to make is whether you're correctly cast. And if you say okay, then you commit yourself to the director and his script. He's the auteur, he's the author. And you do whatever he wants, and you try as best you can to marshal as much of your talent as you can, as much of your observation and your comparison. There's another thing, a poem by Brecht called To the Worker Actors of Denmark, that I would maybe give Billy, but he's probably already read it. It's a 17-page poem on literally on observation and comparison, and how that feeds together. But anyway, because and to be satisfied with the fact, to know that if you're going to give all of, say you give 1,000 pieces of information to the director, he is going to take that, and it's his character, it's not yours in the film. He is going to take that and cut it and use 750 pieces of that information and mold it into a character that was his original vision, or close to it, or his original vision informed by your vision. It's painful, because when you have a 1,000-piece character living inside you, that character goes, wait a second, that doesn't look like me. I didn't do that. But you just, when you can come to terms, and in the theater you have control. In theater, once you walk on the stage,
it's still your medium.
Yeah, I mean, there's that famous story of Peter O'Toole. They'd had hundreds of people coming down to Bristol to audition for Hamlet, and he was like 15th in line. People were going out and doing it. He walked out onto the stage. He was so beautiful as an actor, Peter O'Toole, before he got his nose changed. Yeah, and I would tell Billy not to get anything done to his face. Yeah, because people do that, they try and create an image of themselves, but he wouldn't do that either. But Peter did. But I saw him in The Long and the Short and the Tall, and he was the biggest star I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, he was
set on stage.
Oh boy, God, he was great. And you can see a little bit of his real nose in The Day They Robbed the Bank of England. But anyway, he came out on the stage, and he bent down on one knee, and he said, "To be or not to be." Oh, you wouldn't understand, and left. And they said, wait, come back, please. And he came back, and they said, wait, no, go on.
Did he get the part?
Oh, of course he got the part. He was such a wonderful actor. Yeah. Wonderful.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Donald Sutherland, Without Limits is the film.